two, one.
one.
That felt pretty good. Pretty syncy.
Hell yeah. Helsinki,
Cool.
dude.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, I think we're ready to jump in.
I'm ready.
Cool, cool. So normally we start with quotes. This is one of those movies where I just have a ton. Like, it's so quotable to me because I've seen it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna riff off a couple, and you can pick the one that like
Let's go.
sits in your heart. Hun, yeah, Prowler needs a jump. This is my deal, Wade. Blood has been shed, Jerry. I will not debate you, Jerry. I will not debate you. I need unguent. Where is Pancake's house? And then I don't have any of the other the long monologues memorized, but I can pull them up. They're all on the IMDb. Like we could do the like, yeah. You tell me.
I'm not here to debate you, Jerry. I'm not going to debate you.
I am not going to debate you, Jeff. I am not going to debate you. This is all films worth watching. How's it going? I'm your luxurious musician. Luxurious musician. I'm your co-host, Thomas. I'm a musician. I am luxurious. It's luxurious to hear my dulcet tones leaving my mouth, entering your ears. It's a luxurious experience I'm hoping for you. That's Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
He's book talker extraordinaire, black metal artist, Wield and Woe. I'm repping Wield and Woe today. I've got if you can see in the camera, a dragon attacking a castle.
Hell yeah.
Jeff, I was curious, is this the background? If you're on YouTube looking at the video, you can see this. Is this is this castle a specific castle, or is this you know what I mean? Like, is this a reference that you know specifically, or is it just a castle?
It's just a castle.
Oh, okay, cool. Sometimes I pretend it's the Disneyland castle.
It looks pretty close sometimes.
Yeah, kind of has that vibe. Anyway, I'm getting off track, and we're on a hard day for that because this is a big film, at least for me. We're talking about the 1991 thriller?
1997.
Excuse me, 1997
Or
thriller
96, something like that.
Fargo, Coen Brothers. Well, let me look it up. Let me pull up the Wikipedia. 96, excuse me. 1996 black comedy Fargo, written, directed, produced by Joel and Ethan Coen. Not my first time viewing, but Jeff's first time. Jeff, I'm excited to get into this. I want to know your thoughts. Before I do, though, I thought it would be interesting just so I can get a sense of your Coen connectedness. If we could just go through their filmography and if we could just tick off if you've seen them and if you haven't seen them and kind of quickly what your thoughts are on the other ones.
Sure.
If you could save your stuff for Fargo till we get there, but
Okay.
cool. So they started in 1984 with Blood Simple.
Nope.
No, haven't seen that one. Okay. Definitely worth checking out. It's their first movie, so it's like indie as fuck, but it's like this small town Texas thriller. Well, depending on how you connected to this, we'll see. Yeah, so wrote and directed in 1984. Their next one was 1987, Raising Arizona.
Nope.
Yeah, that one is kind of doesn't work for me. It's based around Nicolas Cage, doing this like soapy Southern accent that kind of makes my skin crawl. He commits so hard.
Some accents.
Some people love it, and there's some great things about it, but possibly a skip unless you're totally Coen brained. Their next is 1990s Miller's Crossing.
Nope.
Yeah, that one is a Prohibition era like crime thriller. So if that idea suits your fancy, might be worth checking out. Not my favorite, but it's a good one. In 91, they have Barton Fink.
Nope.
Okay, Barton Fink is one that I think that even if you don't like Coen Brothers, it's just such a good movie. It's about a playwright that gets basically signed up for a contract in old Hollywood to go write a movie, and he's like, finally, I'm gonna be in the pictures, and it becomes this existential hell for him. It's so well done.
It's John Turturro, isn't it?
Yeah. John Turturro is Barton Fink, and then you've got John Goodman in it. You've got a bunch of the regulars, but John Goodman is fantastic in it. Yeah, definitely worth putting on the list.
Okay.
After that is 94, The Hudsucker Proxy.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, this one is their biggest bomb. It's one of their highest budget movies, and it's like a screwball comedy. It's so freaking weird. It stars Tim Robbins. It's got Paul Newman in it. It's a if you're into the Coen aesthetic, it's like it can be so fun and so goofy. But if they rub you the wrong way or can get a little overproduced, it's like a swing and a miss by miles. But it's real fun. And then we have 96's Fargo, which you have seen.
Yep.
Followed by 1998's The Big Lebowski.
Seen that.
Cool. What are your thoughts?
I like The Big Lebowski. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. It's something that I guess I quote fairly regularly, like everybody else does. Like, "Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money?" But
it's not fair.
Yeah, but it's not like my top 10 movies of all time. It's a good movie though.
Yeah, totally. It's one of those cultural zeitgeist movies that like it's almost a little bit ruined by the fact that it's so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah,
also
no,
more
totally
tremendous John Goodman. I love John Goodman, but
he's so good,
awesome
isn't he?
In that movie.
Mm-hmm. 2000's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I think this is my favorite one. It's top 2 at least.
Yeah, dude. We had this is one of my first DVDs that we owned, so it has that like recency bias thing where like we watched it so many times, and not only that, we had the soundtrack. We were one of those.
We had
those
that
families.
too. My dad loved the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Yeah, it was so crazy, such a phenomenon. It like brought back folk and Americana.
Mm-hmm.
It like I think it's like somebody pointed this out on a podcast I was listening to elsewhere. I think it really like I think you can draw a connection to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou at the soundtrack being so popular and that like stomp clap hey stuff of the early 2000s. It's like kids in 8th grade getting having this CD plastered into their heads and then going on to be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. You know?
There's like a 7 or 8 year delay there for sure. But
Yeah,
I can see that.
So then after that we have 2001's The Man Who Wasn't There.
Nope.
This one's one of their like grittier ones. It'll be interesting to see what you think about Fargo. This is Billy Bob Thornton, and he's playing this like chain smoking barber who's going through an existential crisis and is blackmailing his wife's boss to get money to invest in dry cleaning. And it's in the 1950s, so it's like dry cleaning is going to be the next big thing.
Okay.
It's dark, but it's fun if you're into the vibe. But again, we'll talk about it. And after this is 2003's Intolerable Cruelty.
Nope.
Yeah, I haven't seen Intolerable Cruelty either. George Clooney, Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's like it's about divorce lawyers. I don't really know. The Lady Killers, 2004.
Nope.
Yeah, skip this one if you can. This is a weird one. Most of the time, they're really like particular about their films where they're putting things together. But this one, they like wrote it for somebody else to direct, and then that person dropped out, and they jumped in. And it's Tom Hanks. It's like Tom Hanks's like least funny performance, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a like big miss in my opinion. They don't come out again until 2007. No Country for Old Men.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah. Cool. I figure that makes sense. Followed by 2008's Burn After Reading.
No, I've not seen it.
Oh yeah, okay. A kind of a madcap political thriller. It'll be interesting how the comedy of this of Fargo gleans off of you. How you feel about the comedy sense of them will determine whether or not you should check out Burn After Reading. After that, 2009's A Serious Man.
I want to see it, but haven't.
Yeah, I saw this one at the Flicks when it came out. It's brutal. It's like a brutally existential, like sort of a comedy, but in the way that's like, you gotta laugh, otherwise you're gonna cry kind of a thing, Yeah. Definitely worth checking out though. Then after that, the next year they have True Grit in 2010.
Nope.
Yeah. Are you into Westerns?
Very.
You're very into Westerns? Okay. I just checked out True Grit for the first time. I'm not into Westerns, but I dug it. So definitely worth checking
Jeff
out.
Bridges,
if you...
right? I like him.
Yeah, it is. Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon and Haley Steinfeld, I think in her first performance. I think they found her. Maybe not. I could be wrong about that. Let's see. After that, we have Inside Llewyn Davis, 2013.
That's Oscar Isaac, isn't it? That's
Yes.
One of his first movies. I'm familiar with it. If I've seen it, I don't remember it.
Yeah, you should check it out. Just as a touring musician, it's an interesting look at that sort of life. Like the character he's part of a duo, like a folk act duo in 1961, and his partner just died. And then on top of that, he's like part of the folk act era that like sang other people's songs almost exclusively.
Mm.
And he's like he's like wandering around town trying to like keep his shit together, basically, you know? But it's like without his partner, like, what are you? You know, he's like the Garfunkel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, it's an interesting, there's like a chunk of it where he goes to like make some extra money. He goes and does a novelty song that are like super popular at the time. It's like, please, Mr. Kennedy, send me to space or some shit like that.
Okay.
It's, and you can like he's the kind of guy that like that whole thing just like offends his sensibilities. You can tell it just, but he has to for the money, you know? Yeah. Worth checking out for sure. Let's see. After that, we have 2016's Hail Caesar.
No.
Okay. Barton Fink. If you like Barton Fink, maybe check out Hail Caesar. Could be skippable in my humble opinion, but definitely check out Barton Fink. And then it's a bunch of people. It's let me see, who's the main guy? It's kind of following around a fixer. Josh Brolin plays a fixer in Hollywood that's wandering around dealing with a bunch of different shit. And one of them is George Clooney.
Okay.
Yeah. Worth checking out though. Let's see. And then The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that's in Netflix in 2018.
I remember you talking about it when it came out, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into Westerns, they're Western short films. It kind of broke them. It said it was so hard to produce at their kind of like quality and specificity. There's this thing about John Carpenter's been offered to do Westerns a couple of times. And he's like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to work with horses. It's like, I refuse. It's like becomes such excruciating. Anyway, I think, is The Ballad the last one that they did together at the moment? Yeah. It sort of like they get so exhausted by holding everything to their really specific standards that they sort of break apart and do separate movies from here on out. So then we have The Tragedy of Macbeth, that's directed by Joel, and then Drive Away Dolls, which is directed by Ethan, and then Honey Don't, also by Ethan. And those are the three that are new. And they're worth checking out, but they don't really have the juice that the two of them have together, which kind of makes sense. They're an interesting creative duo. But yeah, I don't know. Blathering, obviously I'm a fan of Fargo. Jeff, tell me, what are your thoughts?
I loved Fargo, dude. This movie was hilarious. Like,
righteous.
Yeah, like big win.
That's so good to hear. I have been like thinking for days now about like, if he hates this, what am I gonna say? Because the last time we watched a movie that didn't quite work for you, Barbarian, in my opinion, I came to you all offended in a way that I thought was funny, but I could automatically tell by the way that you responded that I was like, oh, it was too aggro. It was like, sure. I was coming in a little too hot, which is like not my intention. I like to treat film the way I think some people like to treat sports. I heard this really great quote from a podcaster, Jesse Thorne, I think, who said something like, I love sports because I can like have 100% passion and intensity about it, and it means nothing at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like the stakes are so low that you can like be a crazy idiot about it, and it's fine, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm happy to hear it. This movie is so good, isn't it?
I love this movie, dude. It was so funny. Like on just a lot of levels. And yeah, this movie, from what I have experienced of the Coens, it's very Coen-y. Like it's super Coen-y. But I liked this movie a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let me go back and make sure that I'm getting the timeline right. Yeah, they start with Blood Simple, and Blood Simple is like really very serious, solid, like right up the line. But it's like Coen-y. It's similar to No Country for Old Men. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like not like there is a bit of a sense of humor cosmically, but there's like, you know what I mean? They're not laughing. They're not trying to make you laugh. And then you go to Raising Arizona, and Raising Arizona is like almost a Looney Tune. They have this like there's this weird gothic surrealness to it, but it's like Nicolas Cage is being a goofball.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me. I like Nicolas Cage in like 2 movies. The rest of the time he irritates the hell out of me.
I feel you. Yeah, I think that you'll find it irritating, but there's this thing where like they steal a baby from a guy who owns, I think, like grocery stores or something like that. Him and his partner's Holly Hunter. They steal a baby because she he's barren, I think. She's barren, or he's one of them is incapable of having a kid. But anyway, they send this like there's this like otherworldly bounty hunter that's like a biker from hell that is like motorcycling across the desert coming towards them. There's some really interesting things going on, excuse me, in the film, but it doesn't all gel for me.
Sure.
So 100%. Anyway, yeah, they sort of like start there with those two, sort of the extremes of what they do. Raising Arizona is really silly. Blood Simple is really serious. And there's a couple more in between. They do, Miller's Crossing, which is again really, really serious. That's a excuse me, that's like got John Turturro in it again. That's a Prohibition era crime thriller that's again not really a big sense of humor to it. Barton Fink is really, really, really funny. The Hudsucker Proxy is just zany. There's this bit where like it's like a screwball comedy about this people the excuse me a business graduate moving to New York. I think he goes to like the University of Muncie and gets his business degree. And on the first day, he gets a job at a manufacturing company in the mailroom. And then they set him up as the CEO at the end of the day to like screw him, to like use him as like a patsy for some like inside business stuff. Mm-hmm. It's super complicated, but he has this whole thing. Sorry, I'm getting off track. We're talking about all the worst. I'm talking about all the worst Coens. I want to talk about Fargo. It's so funny. I love that it's so serious too. It's like brutal, and that like makes the comedy of it that much funnier. I don't know.
There's this thing about like it's really brutal. Like Peter Stormare shoots that lady in the car in the face, and then Margie like looks at the car. She goes, "Oh geez," like it's like her head is probably blown smooth off, and she's like, "Oh wow, bud," It's like. I think that's one of the things that's the funniest for me is that like people are being brutally murdered and it's just like, oh, dang, like it's funny. I love it.
Yeah. Or being like, oh God, there's that one joke that she tells. Oh, what is it? Something. Oh, the guy who couldn't, when they're talking about the dealer plates, and she's like, did you hear about the one who couldn't afford the vanity plates? And so he changed his name to XLXL12743. The guy goes, yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't
just walks away. Oh, because that's like you can't afford dealer plates that like say your name, and so you change your name to the license plate number that you already have.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't get that joke.
Well, maybe he didn't get it either, because he just like takes it and goes, "Oh yeah, that's a good one."
Yeah, I think it's just that like Midwest politeness where they're just like, good joke. Yeah, that was good.
Oh man, there's just so many people running at like the top of their game. It's so well written and constructed. We can jump into it. Jeff, I know that this is your month, so typically you should be leading the show, but I know this one so well. Do you mind if I
go for it?
If I talk through it? Cool.
I was not prepared to lead
it. Cool. Well, we'll start from the top. The Wikipedia article is going to lay out a bunch of stuff in kind of a chronological order that the movie is going to tell in a slightly different order, but I'm going to read it out anyway, and we'll start from there. In 1987, Jerome Jerry Lundegaard is the executive sales manager of a Minneapolis car dealership owned by his father-in-law, Wade Gustafson, thank you. Desperate for money, he plans to have his wife Jean kidnapped on the recommendation of dealership mechanic and parolee Shep Proudfoot. Jerry meets Gare Grimsome and Carl Showalter at a bar in Fargo, North Dakota. Gare and Carl agree to kidnap Jean in exchange for an Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra and half of the $80,000 ransom Jerry intends to extort from Wade. And that's where we start. We start with like in Fargo. The movie's called Fargo, but we only like this scene I think is the only one that takes place in Fargo. It's great. And the one thing that we missed, the opening title sequence, or the opening text. Let me see if I can find the opening Fargo text. I'll just read it out. I love it so much.
I remember it pretty well. It's like based on true events that happened in Minnesota in 1987. To respect the survivors, the names have been changed. To honor those who died, the rest of it unfolds exactly as it happened.
Yeah. Out of respect for the dead, the rest is told exactly how it happened. And Jeff, any indication to you that was total bullshit? Like, have you looked it up? Like, what is your relationship to that?
But
like,
for a second, I felt like they were pulling my leg. It felt Coen-y to be like, this is based on a true story, but it's not.
Yeah, for sure. It was a big deal in 96 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there are some urban legends and I guess a whole other movie that I haven't seen based on the urban legend of people thinking this movie was real, and the end with the money being buried in the snow, like people freezing to death going out into Minnesota looking for that money.
That's so stupid.
The movie again, that's an urban legend, but the movie that's based on it does the same thing that these guys do, where it's like, this is 100% true. It's like, well, this is just based on some like weird stories that you heard Coen's growing up in Minnesota. But anyway, they just do this great set of storytelling. They agree to do the kidnapping. That's where we start. Like we don't get any of this, like, who is Jerry? We don't know about Wade yet. We don't know any of the relationship. It's just like a dude comes up to these two like kind of gnarly looking guys and is like, all right, I want you to kidnap my wife. We lay out the whole plot of that, and then we get introduced to him. There's that first scene in the car lot where, or in his office, because he's a new car salesman, where he's just getting reamed by this guy who he like tried to, it was the True Coat thing, right?
Yeah,
the specifics of it. Yeah, the sealant, this like thing that is a charge and has to come on the car. Jerry obviously tried to use as like a negotiation tactic to make it seem like he was like giving them a deal by throwing in this True Coat that he has to have anyway. And it backfires on him because these guys are getting like screwed. They're getting ripped off, or they've, you know what I mean? They don't feel, what am I trying to say? Can you help me out here? I feel like I'm drowning.
Well, Jerry told them that they weren't going to have to pay for it. And then Jerry came back and was like, oh, you have to pay for it. And then he goes to his boss, which he's like, I'll go talk to my boss. And then he like goes and asks about a hockey game, comes back and is like, hey, I'll give it to you for $100 off. And the guy's like, fuck you, Jerry. Where's my checkbook?
And it's like, but the guy takes so long to build to that fuck you. I love it so much. It's so funny because it's like, he's obviously like it's like Minnesota nice or like Midwest nice that he's like, he really has to work up the courage and feel 100% in his like righteous to be like, you're a fucking liar. And his wife goes, oh,
geez. Yeah, she's like, oh, jeez. Yeah, that was
so
really
good. Yeah, and so it's just like, it automatically establishes Jerry as the worst car salesman of all time.
Yeah.
When he bobs out and goes to it, he asks about that hockey game, and the guy is so fucking rude to him. He's like, you got an extra ticket to that? And the guy's like, are you serious? Like, no, I would never give you a ticket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his coworkers hate him. The people that he services hates him. It's like, it's not going well. You get the vibe that he is in so much debt. You don't get the specifics of it, but you can tell he's panicking. He talks to his wife, or his wife's, he's got this relationship with his father-in-law, who is rich. Yeah, and he owns the car lot, so he's like basically working for his dad. But he's obviously in tons of debt that he's hiding. You get that vibe? Mm-hmm. They have this great conversation where he's talking about making this lucrative investment. We're going to talk about it here. Believing that he's secured a $750,000 loan from Wade for a lucrative real estate deal, which is this like parking lot somewhere. He has this conversation where he invites Wade over to the house and tries to convince him to basically loan him money. At least that's what he thinks. Mm-hmm. But the important thing about it is that at the end of it, Jerry's making this pitch that it's all about his wife and his son's well-being. Like that's why he's trying to do it. And the father-in-law, Wade, basically says, don't worry about it. Your wife and your son never have to worry about anything. Like explicitly leaving Jerry out of that. Where it's like, you will be fucked forever. Yeah. But your kids are going to be okay. It's interesting because it like, ooh. Jeff, did you do a Fargo? Are they there for you?
They are.
Oh, man.
Give it 2 seconds and they'll go away. My window's closed too. They're just close.
Yeah, they're on your tail. I keep telling you to not do Fargos. Knock that shit off. But anyway, you can just it's interesting because like it sets up the stakes of all of this kidnapping shit in a really interesting way. Jerry's not doing it for his family. His family explicitly is going to be fine. Mm-hmm. He's doing it to save his own skin, which makes it all the more like
And
like weaselly and gross.
that caught me so funny is that it's like a relatively small amount of money that he needs. It's like, I think it was $80,000 or something, or no, or maybe that's just what they were going to pay, or he was going
Yeah.
to. No,
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah. Well, sorry. We'll go through it.
Well, oh yeah, we'll talk a little bit about this. He does say that. Yeah, he does say to the two con men, you're gonna get half of $80,000. But when he goes and like handles the ransom, he goes and like talks to Wade because they go through with this kidnapping. We'll get there. We'll get there in just a second. Actually, let's say. So he thinks he gets that loan from Wade. He has that conversation about the parking lot, and Jerry then tries to call off the kidnapping. But he can't get a hold of them. And once he does, it's like, hey, we're already in motion. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then he finds out that Wade, his father-in-law, and his accountant, Stan Grossman, they meet up with Jerry and tell him that they're going to handle the deal himself. Like, basically, he came in expecting that his father-in-law was going to loan him $750,000, which it sounds like he was not even going to use entirely for this deal. It sounds like he was going to use to have to pay off some of his debts. And Wade is like, well, I'm not going to just give you $750,000, Jerry, because I'm not a bank and I don't I mean, he doesn't say this explicitly, but he's like, I don't particularly like you. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not going to do you that huge favor because I'm like a shrewd businessman, you know? He's like a guy who's like, he's like caught in a, like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I've always lived in an action movie kind of a vibe. I think the father-in-law is so funny. He reminds me of like when my dad used to get angry. He sometimes would talk about like he would talk and it seemed to me like he's in like he like is imagining himself in like a shitty action movie where it's like him against the world. and that's sort of what Wade reminds me of, you know what I mean? He's imagining himself as like the sheriff of a town in an old western, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, he's the law and he's laying it down.
Yeah.
Which, you know, totally works with, I mean, he's got Jerry like
By the
scoped,
balls.
you know? Yeah. And he just like, and he's not wrong about Jerry, you know? It's like you can, the way that Jerry's acting, you can tell. He's like, I don't like you and I don't trust you. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't like or trust him either. Seems like a pretty bad guy.
He's not even outrightly mean to Jerry. He just is like clearly calling him on his shit.
Yeah. And it's basically like it's like, if I give you $750,000, you're going to lose it. Like, I'm not going to get my investment back. I'm not confident that I'm going to get my investment back. And I agree with him. That's the thing that's crushing. That's so crushing about it. It's like, God, everybody's just got him so pegged, and his response is to do like the worst shit.
Yeah, he's clearly incompetent, and everybody knows it.
Then on top of that, they're like, they're going to offer him a finder's fee. And then he's like, no, I need all of the money, and like refuses that. He talks himself out of even getting his finder's fee. They're like, I hope you don't mind. We're just going to do this without you if you don't want to be involved in any way. Yeah. And so he ends up with like no money. So great. Anyway, let's see here. Stan Grossman, they informed Jerry and Wade that they're going to handle the deal themselves. Carl and Gare kidnap Jean. They have that scene where like she's watching TV and then turns around and watches them in ski masks walk up to the window, look, spot her. Like, it's just sitting there in stunned silence as they crash through. Yeah. God, that is like one of my favorite moments in cinema. She's like sitting there, like, so damn funny.
Like, knitting, and she's like, and they're like looking through, and he grabs that poker thing or whatever and breaks the window, and then she like goes ballistic. But she just watches him. Like, what do you think he's gonna do?
It's like it reminds me of like a raccoon in the road or like a possum in the road. You know what I mean? Like that like fear sense where you're like, if I just freeze up, maybe they won't see me. And it's like, they're there for you, honey. Like, but they go in. There's that huge struggle. She bites Gare, who immediately takes his mask off. They're such dumb criminals.
Yeah, he's like, he has that line. He's like, I need Neosporin or unguent.
Unguent, which is like crazy old world European, like you know what I mean, like gnarly, like yeah. It's just like it's a weird thing for him to say. He's such a fucking weirdo. Like while they're driving in to do this, they're like, they've already done that. Where's the pancakes house? He's like, they're obviously like brushing against each other. He and Steve Buscemi. He's like, Steve Buscemi's like constantly talking. He's not saying anything and is like insisting on only eating pancakes. Yeah. He's just got this like, you can tell from the beginning he's like fucking off. A little unhinged. in a scary way. Like you're gonna be relying on him for a lot of stuff for the rest of this movie, and it's that's a scary concept in my
Mhm.
mind. Anyway, but he doesn't fuck everything up initially. It's all Carl. They're transporting her to a remote cabin in Moose Lake where a state trooper stops them near Brainerd for not displaying temporary registration. The trooper rejects Carl's clumsy bribe to excuse me. He rejects Carl's clumsy bribe attempt and orders Carl out of the car. Where he tries to hand over that money. He's like, maybe we'll just take care of this in Brainerd. All of these things are like this stupidest decisions stacked on top of one another. You know what I mean? Like, put your dealer plates on before you leave. Don't try to bribe the guy. Just like pay your fine when you get home or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, they're in for a penny, in for a pound. The trooper hears Gene whimpering in the back seat, so Gare shoots the trooper dead, then kills 2 passerbys who witness the scene. That's one of my favorite shots in the movie, too, when the car slowly passes by and you see the husband and wife, their faces. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. There are a couple of shots in this movie that are like tracking shots that do that. Oh, I just set off balloons if you're watching on the YouTube. Just a couple of beautiful tracking shots where like a car comes across something horrible and you like either see the reaction or you see it from the other way, and it's just so beautiful and haunting. Anyway, so they shoot those people, move on. Brainerd Police Chief Margie Gunderson, our main protagonist, who is 7 months pregnant, begins investigating. But before she does that, she has to get up early. Her husband demands that she eats before she goes. He said, you gotta have a breakfast. I'll make you some eggs. You gotta have a breakfast. They also talk about his stamp. He's doing a painting of birds, a duck, I think a mallard specifically, for a local stamp competition, and that's his big thing. So she's not even like, there's like a murder that's happened, and we're spending all this time like worrying about her husband's details. It's such a fun,
they're so sweet. Like they're such a sweet couple.
That's great. It's love. It's just love. Just like a bowl of pudding in my heart. No, a bowl of porridge in my heart. Oatmeal, but good oatmeal. Cream of wheat. A bowl of cream of wheat. The tastiest of the warmest morning beverages or food in my heart. Or in my stomach, I guess, because it shouldn't belong in my heart. That seems like that would be dangerous. Anyway, I'm getting off track. She correctly heads down to the site of the murder. She correctly deduces that the dead trooper was ticketing a car with dealer plates, which the guy misses initially. He thinks it's like halfway through writing the plates, the DLR. And I love how she I think most versions of this movie, the guy would get dressed down for doing something stupid like that. And we'd be like, oh, she's so smart. And in this one, she's like, well, I don't necessarily agree with your police work there, buddy.
Yeah.
She's so like gentle and kind about it, where it's like, that's probably DLR probably means dealer plates. And the guy's like, thick. It's definitely like, it's interesting because they're dumb and they're wholesome, but they're dumb in a way that makes them dangerous too. Like, well, there's a scene later on where like Jerry is almost caught by Margie and she's being like essentially stupid, but it's like if an angry pit bull was still didn't smell the beef jerky in your pocket. You know what I mean? It's so scary. It's so crazy. It's such a crazy blend of vibes. I'm getting ahead of myself. She later learns that the 2 men driving the dealership vehicle checked into a nearby motel with 2 call girls and placed a call to Shep. Marge visits Wade's dealership where Shep feigns ignorance and Jerry nervously insists that no cars are missing. While in Minneapolis, Marge reconnects with Mike Yanagita, a high school classmate. Mike awkwardly tries to romance her before breaking down and telling her that his wife has died. So this is another thing where they're telling this sort of chronologically, but I think the important thing is she finds out about this murder. She gets a call in the middle of the night from this guy, Mike Yanagita, that's like, calls her at 10:30 at night and is like, well, how the heck are you?
Yeah, he's like, I saw you on the news. You look great.
Yeah, you look great. I just wonder what's going on,
Yeah.
Like, obviously trolling for something, right? And then the next day, she's like, oh, I found all this information that would, like, put me down there sort of by Mike Yanagita. And she kind of, like, nonchalantly is like, yeah, I think I'm going to head down there. I got some other stuff to do. And everybody's kind of like, really? You're going to go to Minneapolis? You know what I mean?
Like, Twin Cities, huh?
It's subtle, but it's definitely, she's using the crime scene as an excuse to like go down there and see Mike Yanagita. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's anything totally untoward going on, but it's definitely, and then she gets into town and then she's like asking about the crime stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, I was going to be in town to do other stuff anyway. You know what I mean? She changes the story based on who she's talking to make it more wholesome to her to be perceived. But she's up to, you know what I mean? She's stepping out to visit with Mike Yanagita, which I love that scene. He shows up in a suit. And he tries to sit with her on her side, and she immediately is like, "People will recognize that you are being too forward."
Like, no,
that's the line.
I like it when you sit over there.
Yeah, she's like, "No, you got to sit over there." And it's I just want to
my neck to look at you.
Yeah, I don't want to see my head. Oh man! And then he tells this story about his wife dying of leukemia, and he breaks down crying, and he's got this line that's so funny. He's like, "You're such a super lady."
And it's so funny because he's like a Japanese guy with this hard Minnesota accent.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. And then later on, she's talking to some of her friends and are like relaying back the information. And she's like, Mike Yanagita was never married to that lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's
not dead. She's alive. You should call her.
Yeah. Not only that, he was bothering her for years. And it's 1987. So what they're saying is Mike Yanagita was stalking her.
Yeah.
They're talking in the Midwestern niceties way, but it's Mike Yanagita had been stalking that lady for years and years, wouldn't leave her alone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, a problem. I just love, and then you find out that he's living with his parents. So I have this image in my mind of him sitting in his parents' house, putting on that suit and getting himself all primped to go down and oh God, just so pathetic and so funny.
Yeah.
Oh Mike, you're such a super lady. Anyway, all right. So Jerry tells Wade the kidnappers have demanded $1 million. So this is the discrepancy. He tells the two thugs that he's asking for only $80,000. So they're going to get $40,000. And then he tells Wade that they want $1 million. So he's just going to pocket all of that extra money is his plan, which is really smart, but also really stupid, because it's if anybody checks on anything at any time, this is all going to collapse on himself. Mm-hmm. It's the kind of thing that this guy, this horrible, the worst car salesman in the world would concoct and be yeah, it's a good plan. I'm going to solve it. I'm going to do it, Yeah. So he's saying that these two, Steve Buscemi, and his partner will deal only through him. And in light of these three murders, Carl demands that Jerry hand over the $80,000 he believes is the entire ransom. Mm-hmm. He says, blood has been shed, Jerry.
Yeah.
Basically, the rules have changed. Shep finds Carl with a call girl in Shep's Minneapolis apartment and beats him in retaliation for bringing Shep to the police's attention. And that's that great scene where he comes into town to do business. He finds that other call girl, and what does she say? Oh, I hear bells. Yeah. I hear bells. Yeah. Where are you? Where are you?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? I'm screwing her or whatever.
Yeah, and he pulls that call girl off of her, kicks her in the ass on her way out, and then beats Steve Buscemi with a belt. Mm-hmm. And it's gnarly, and it goes for a long time. And Shep is a big, beefy, a monstrous guy, And it just looks like it hurts so bad.
Sure it did.
And Steve Buscemi's wails. I just think about it sometimes. Him going, as he's crawling away. So fucking.
I love that bit where he's like, don't you dare fucking hit me.
Oh yeah. And then he chokes him. He picks him up by his neck. Oh, so rough. Mm-hmm. Anyway, on the way to Moose Lake. Wait. Yeah. Carl angrily calls Jerry and demands that he bring the money immediately. He's fed up to here. And he wasn't already making the best decisions, but now he's not making rational decisions at all because he's so pissed. Mm. Wade insists on delivering the ransom and meets Carl at a parking garage. He's basically Jerry, you're going to fuck this up. And I am the sheriff of the town. I got to lay down the law. And he basically walks out. And I love it because you're watching Jerry. He closes the door and Jerry does this almost it's a potty dance. He's so frustrated with the fact that he's letting Carl basically walk into his death. He knows how dangerous it is. Mm-hmm. And all he can do is a little oh, I'm so upset that this didn't go so well. It's dude, you have other options. You tell Carl, stop Carl from walking into his own death. Mm-hmm. But no, he's too self-serving. Wade is who I've been talking about. I don't have anybody's names. I just have their faces. It's the angry dad, the Steve Buscemi, Carl angrily calls Jerry and demands that he brings the money immediately. Wade insists on delivering the ransom and meets Carl at a parking lot. Wade refuses to hand over the money without seeing his daughter. He tries to handle it like he's a hostage negotiator, and Carl just shoots him right in the heart.
Yeah. He's like,
Wade,
no daughter, no money.
yeah, drop the money, punk. It's like he's like in a bad 70s TV show. It's so funny. Yeah, and Carl immediately pops him. Before dying, he shoots Wade, or Wade fires back and wounds Carl in the jaw, which is gnarly. It like shoots through the jaw. Carl kills Wade and a garage attendant and then drives away with the ransom. On the way to Moose Lake, Carl discovers the briefcase containing $1 million. He takes out the $80,000 to split with Gare and buries the rest in the snow alongside the highway. He takes like an ice scraper and sticks it into the snow. And then he looks one way and you can just see endless line of snow and fence. And he looks the other way and it's the exact same as far as the eye can see. Mm-hmm. And he's like a little like 6-inch tall ice scraper. And he's like, yeah, that's perfect. I'll definitely know. I'll definitely be able to find that again. And you're like, are you kidding? That's already like, even if there's no snow, which it's definitely going to snow. It's supposed to, we have this, I don't know if we've got to the guy who talks about it, but it's going to snow the next day. It looks disgusting outside and it's going to like, everybody keeps being like, oh, it's going to be really bad tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be even worse. So it's like, that thing is going to be buried and totally gone before anybody can even see. Just like so thoughtless. But you know, the guy was like already impulsive and now he's like bleeding actively from his face. Yeah, and so all of his rational
the other money from Gare. Like he knows it's more. And because he's expecting 80,000, he opens the suitcase. He's like, "Oh." And there's like way more money. He's like, "All right, I'll take 80 and then we'll go." Yeah.
So, he dumps that. Buries the rest of the snow. Oh, this says Marge now. This is where Marge learns from a friend that Yanagita lied. He has no wife and is mentally ill. Reflecting on this, Marge returns to Wade's dealership. This is where she's like, you can read the movie being like, she's like, oh, imagining that people are capable of lying, you know, like it's like, this is the first time the thought crossed your mind. I think that's not necessarily a fair take. But that is what this text seems to imply, that she's like, oh, the experience from my Yanagita is like, maybe I should go and ask some more questions about that with Jerry. And agitated Jerry again insists that no cars are missing from the lot. He tells Marge that he will double check the inventory. And this is that scene where she's right on top of him and she's like circling the inconsistency and not in a way where she's like, I don't think she even expects him of any guilt. Like, I don't think it's like crossing her mind at all because she's so like, I don't know, like trusting, but it's so like from Jerry's perspective, it's so frightening for somebody to be so close and but just off, but like not making the connections at all. And then he ends up panicking. Like I mean, I don't know how he would have gotten out of it, but he flees the interview. And she's got that line where she's like watching him leave. She's like, he's fleeing the interview. He's fleeing the interview to herself. She's like, doesn't know where to go.
Yeah. And great. In this scene, we see, something that didn't get mentioned earlier is like we get the sense of Jerry's fraud, where I think he's illegally selling cars that the lot has taken loan on, because that guy calls and is like, hey, we can't read your serial numbers on this thing that you faxed over. And they have that whole bit back and forth. And then we see him purposely dulling the pencil to write the serial numbers on the fax form again so that they're hard to read.
Yeah. It's the Coens are really good about like getting the details of the world of the stakes there so consistently. Like it's been hard to talk about the details of all of this contract stuff, but it's so clear in the movie. Yeah, he it seems to me like he's taken out a loan on cars that don't exist. Yeah. And he's gotten the money for the loan and that's part of it. Like he's trying to get this money from Wade to pay off that huge loan, because like halfway through the film, that guy calls up again and is like, I still don't have these numbers and we're going to recall that loan. So you're owing us, I think it was like, is it $750,000?
It's $320,000.
$320,000. Yeah. It was a huge number.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stakes for Jerry just keep getting higher every time we see him. It's like it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, he just keeps fucking up. I love. There's like one more scene where we see him try to sell a car, and immediately out of his mouth he starts talking about that True Coat thing. He does basically the exact same thing that he did that led to that other guy freaking out at him, and immediately he gets set up in the same position, and it's like, you fucking idiot!
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that again? Like, why do you keep setting these rakes down to step into? It's hilarious to watch. Yeah. Back at the cabin, Carl finds that Gare has killed Jean because she would not be quiet. She wouldn't stop screaming, you know. Carl says that they should split up and leave immediately, and then they argue over who will keep the Sierra.
Which is so funny because it's not a cool car. Like, it's such a grandma car. And they're very like, no, that's my fucking car. I got shot. You could take my truck. I'm taking the Sierra.
And I love in this scene, Steve Buscemi, Carl is such a motor mouth. He has been constantly talking. Like, there's that scene where they're driving and he's like babbling to Gare about how Gare won't talk. And he's like, I won't talk then too. I can be the one that doesn't talk too. You fucking idiot. Why won't you talk to me? You know what I mean? Just like can't stop talking. This scene, it's like, he's in so much pain.
He's like,
you can tell that like, yeah. And it's like, you can tell it's like affecting his speech, but he still won't shut up. He's still like going around and around in like multiple sentences where he like can't help himself.
Yeah, he's like, are we square? Are we fucking square?
How do you split a car, you dummy?
With a chainsaw? Yeah.
So good.
Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention is that Jerry drives the same car. So that first shot in the movie is an Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra towing an Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra like into that parking lot. I was like, oh, this is so good.
That is good. I've never noticed that before.
So
nice. Thank you for enhancing my experience. A burnt umber Sierra. Fun fact, that is one of the few ad-libs. He was calling it a tan Sierra, but William H. Macy kept calling it burnt umber. And they were like, I like that idea. Sure. You can let that one pass. Anyway, let's see here. Carl insults Gare, calls him a dummy. He attempts to leave with the car, but he's basically like out the door when Gare comes at him with an axe. And that scene is so great. And it's like so pointless. It's so dumb because it's like, how much would that Cutlass Sierra cost out of that 40 grand, out of that million? You know what I mean? If anybody was thinking straight, they'd just be like, take the car, whatever.
Well, he's selling
take the extra
one
10,000
earlier in the movie to that guy who I think is the one who's like, you're a fucking liar. I think it's another Sierra or something at that point, and it was like 19.5.
Yeah, so that's so great that you're like, it quantifies like how much they're fighting over. You know what I mean? Like from Carl's perspective, like pay him the 10 grand and go get your million back and live your happy life. You know?
Yes, the principle of the thing.
Yeah, we're gonna all die on our principles today. We're gonna die because we're too polite, because we're gonna die on our principles. Yeah. Let's see here. Marge drives to Moose Lake basically on an impulse. They hear a story, a tip off about basically like Carl blabbing his mouth again. It's like his fatal flaw, right? Blabbing his mouth. There's that great scene where they interview that guy who's like, basically it looks like he spent all morning clearing out his driveway, and he tells the big long story. And it's so hilarious about like Carl is looking for a prostitute and he's like, oh, what kind of place is this? And the talking about the murders that he just did as like threatening and being cool and badass. And the guy's like, well, my wife said I should call it in. So I called it in.
Yeah. And the deputy's like, oh yeah, I know it's probably nothing. Thanks for calling it in though.
Yeah. And then they turn around and be like, oh, tomorrow's going to be awful. The snow is going to be so bad. And you're just like, dude, are you caught in a Sisyphusian hell? It seems like you took like 3 hours to clear your driveway today. You're going to do the exact same thing tomorrow. You poor man.
Yep.
It's going to be even worse tomorrow. That's which is the day that all of this is happening. Marge drives up to Moose Lake, tipped off by a local bartender, overheard the customer brag about killing someone. She sees the tan Sierra, then discovers Gare feeding Carl's body into the wood chipper. Such classic gnarliness. The blood. My favorite part is like, this film is so streakingly white. And that just like that streak of blood arcing out of the wood chipper into the snow. It just is burned into my head, excuse me.
Yeah.
Gare attempts to flee, but Marge shoots him in the leg and arrests him. She takes a couple of shots, so it's like she's not like a wonderkin, but she like is
She gets
damn
them.
good at her job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. She's competent. She's incredibly competent at her job, but like incredibly sweet and unassuming at the same time.
Mhm.
It's such an interesting vibe for a cop. I don't know if I've ever seen it mimicked anywhere else.
I don't think so.
Shortly after, Jerry is arrested by state troopers at a motel outside Bismarck, North Dakota. So Jerry goes on the run, but they catch him. And there's that scene where he's in his underwear and they drag him out of the window that he's trying to scream. And he's just screaming. Just the most pathetic, universal cuckold Jerry. Like, William H. Macy did such a great job with this that he like ruined the word Jerry, the name Jerry for me for all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't respect a Jerry. I can't. And that it's this Jerry, it's the Rick and Morty Jerry, and then Tom and Jerry. I just can't respect a Jerry. The age of Jerry's is gone, and it's
Jerry
in good
from
part to the
Parks and Rec.
Coens.
If you ever
Oh yeah,
watch
totally.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I feel like they like those people are called Jerry in. I could be wrong, but just in response to this Jerry, you know, I just haven't met like I haven't met a powerful, confident Jerry since being introduced to this Jerry. Just seems like the concept evaporated afterwards. Anyway, we end with Marge's husband Norm tells her they're basically crawling into bed at the end of the day. She's like, "Oh, we did a good police job," and she's like cuddling up next to him. He tells her that the Postal Service has selected his painting of a mallard for a 3-cent postage stamp, and he complains that the Hotman brothers painting won the competition for a 29-cent stamp. Marge reminds him that the smaller denomination stamps make up the difference between the face value of old stamps and the new cost of first-class postage. Norm is reassured, and the couple happily anticipates the birth of their child.
It's so sweet when they're together. It's like, it's so nice.
It is. It's so cute because it's like we've watched her deal with this whole grisly murder all day, and she has this lovely line where she like, you know, shames Gare and is basically like, "You did this all for a little bit of money." It's like, it's not worth it, you know? But then she goes home and it's like her entire focus is on her husband's little stamp problem. He's like depressed that he got 3rd place in the stamp competition, you know? And she just like doesn't let any of the shit like hang off of her. And I don't know. It's just lovely. And there's something lovely to the message of like the 3-cent stamp is important because everybody needs it to like up the postage a little when things change around, you know? It's like you know, you kind of feel like, oh, these people are 3-cent stamps in their life, you know? They're adding a little bit of good to the world. And it's I don't know. It's making me teary-eyed to think of right now, you know, that they
sorry. Go on.
No, it's just, you know, try to be a good a source of good in the world, you know, try to be a 3-cent stamp.
Yeah.
Bump it up when you can, you know?
Yeah, and there's also that very sweet scene where he brings her lunch at work and he brings her Arby's.
That's true. They're almost always eating. We're almost always watching them because we're missing that scene where they like load up their plates like with disgustingly delicious looking fried food from that all you can eat buffet. Because that's where she like drops that she's gonna go visit Minneapolis, go to Magyanagita. They're like doing police work at the country buffet.
That like deputy comes in and he's like, "Oh, here you go. How's that for casa?" She's like, "Oh, it's so good."
You want some? It's like, no. But yeah, no, I mean, like the food, looking at it, I was like, that, I see it every time and I'm like, that looks disgusting and I want a bucket of it.
Yeah.
It looks so disgusting.
Buffet
I love
food,
it.
dude. It's like, ew.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I'm missing out on here, she does that thing where she chides Gare and is like a little bit of beautiful money, and it's a beautiful day. That's how that line, that whole thing ends, where she's like, you did this all for a little bit of money and you're like missing out on the beauty of the day. The thing about it is that like it is the worst day that people have been saying it's getting worse and worse. It is disgusting. It's like factually not a beautiful day. I just think it's so interesting that that's how she like, she's so wrong. Like I want to believe her, but she's wrong. It's not. I don't know. That tension is really smart. And the Coen brothers are really great at like playing with those tensions. It's they're great storytellers.
She also has that line when she goes back to interview Jerry, and he's like getting frantic, and she's like, Mr. Lendergaard, you have no cause to get snippy with me. And he's like, I'm cooperating.
Yeah, like the fact that like that's like the first like that there's a problem that he's getting snippy. Like that's more of a, you know what I mean? Like that's more of an indicator that anything is wrong. Whoa, easy there.
Yeah, he's like, no cars have gone missing. She's like, well, how do you know? Like, do you count them? And he's like,
For sure.
fine, I'll go fucking count them right now. Yeah.
All right, buddy. I could talk about this movie forever. I gotta cut
a
it short. I
perfect
gotta get out of here pretty soon. It's so good. And I don't feel like I did it justice, but yeah. So worth watching, in my opinion. Hell yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, totally. Okay, guys, if you want to tell us why this is worth watching, or if it's not, if you want to tell Jeff which Coen Brothers movies are worth watching and which ones aren't, tell us in the comments. We would love it. Jeff, we got to figure out what we're doing next month. It's my choice. Man, I was hoping it was this time last year. It was so cold here. We were like buried in snow for a week, and it's so warm right now where I am. How's the weather where you are?
It's 41 today, which is the warmest it's been in months. We've been hovering at like 20 or colder for pretty much the last month, but it's been about 40 the last 2 days. So it's almost
brutal.
tropical. I'm not even like wearing my big coat anymore. I went outside in my shorts this morning. I was like, whoa, cool.
Nice. Okay. Well, I have this thought. It's a movie that I have talked to you about before, and I kind of want to gauge your interest in it before I commit to it, because I just saw it recently in theaters and I love it so much that I'd watch it again for the podcast. Another cold weather movie that I think is just delightful is the relatively new release Hundreds of Beavers.
Sure.
Which sort of it's like a silent film slapstick comedy sort of a thing that's like so joke heavy, joke dense. It's like 30 Rock levels of joke intensity.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that sound stupid to you, or does that sound interesting? Like, if it sounds like something you're going to have to suffer through, I don't want to like make you, but it makes me laugh so hard.
Well, I mean, if you like it, then it's worth watching. I have not watched enough 30 Rock for it to click for me, but I'm not opposed to trying it. I mean, I'm not worse off for having watched it.
Sure. And I wouldn't like say the comedy is like, I'm just saying that they like take every opportunity for every joke.
Okay, so there's just a ton of jokes.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Hundreds of Beavers. I think that's a 2019 flick. Correct me if I'm wrong. I gotta bounce out of here pretty soon. Correct me in the comments, I should say, if I'm wrong. But yeah, guys, next month we're gonna talk about Hundreds of Beavers. Jeff, one more thing, just one more quick thing. I want to suggest a mild format change. Basically everything that we're doing the same. I just think that for now, while we're kind of figuring out still how to talk about these movies, instead of being like, oh, it has to be a movie that neither of us have seen that we want to see or whatever, I think if we just kind of free associate and like pick something at the end, you know what I mean? So I think we can just be a lot more as gentle with that rule as we have been. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I like the idea of being like, oh, this film kind of reminded me of these couple of films, and like that might be a fun one worth exploring, and just kind of ping-ponging off of the last one, you know?
Sure.
Cool. Groovy. Yeah, so next time, Hundreds of Beavers, another cold weather laugh riot. Not nearly as gory, although you do watch them skin a ton of beavers. That does have its gore moments.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everybody in the internet world. Take care of yourselves. Bye.